moment most developers look at a site, they fall into the same trap. They think the smartest move is to chase density, build as big as you can, and go straight to double-storey townhouses. The problem with that is that everyone else is doing the same thing, which means you're just competing with the same product and heading into a race to the bottom. But what if there was a simpler strategy that was actually more profitable? I'm talking about single-storey dual occupancy projects. In this video, I'll show you why this approach is underrated, how it cuts build costs, taps into demand other developers miss, and sets you up for either a safer exit if you sell or a stronger rental yield if you hold. Let's start with why single-storey dual occupancy projects are such a smart move. First, let's look at the numbers. Building double-storey townhouses are expensive. You have more structure, more engineering, you need to engage more trades, and you need more materials. If you are developing in an area where the sale prices do not support those higher costs, you can overcapitalize or overspend very quickly. Single-storey townhouses are different. By default, without the second level, the builds are far less complicated, given they are significantly smaller, meaning lower costs and faster build times. And if you've done your homework in your area, which I will talk about in more detail later in this video, you'll be delivering a product that buyers and renters will compete for. It is a smarter way to activate a site without burning cash. The reason buyers and renters will compete is because of the lack of supply. As we touched on in the beginning, almost all developers go straight to double-storey monster townhouses. Buyers and renters genuinely want single-storey homes. Not everyone wants to live in a ginormous house for many reasons. There are downsizers who don't want stairs, young families who want a backyard, and investors who want something easy to rent out. You are appealing to almost the whole market. And look, if this kind of play makes sense to you, we've got a free developer network with thousands of us sharing what's working in real projects. I'll leave the link below if you want to check it out. The supply side is the real story here, because in established suburbs, the market is flooded with double-storey townhouses. With all developers chasing density and building monster townhouses, you end up with an oversupply of the same product. Oversupply, like in any markets, can kill profits. It is a fact that single-storey dual occupancy projects are rare. That scarcity creates value, which is exactly why agents light up when I mention them. So when you put it together, lower build costs, wider buyer pool, a product in short supply, that is a sweet spot, and why this strategy is so powerful. So if the case is that strong, why don't more developers build single-storey townhouses? I wish I knew the answer. That's why I'm making this video. It is an opportunity that exists and one that you need to be aware of. For whatever reason, developers default to the density play. They try and squeeze as much as they can onto a block, which means double-storey townhouses. The assumption, I imagine, and I would argue the mistake, is they think the bigger you build, the more money you make and the more you can rent them out for. While in some cases this may be true, like I've demonstrated, it is definitely not true in all cases. On paper, it looks good because you can show more living areas, bathrooms, office space, whatever the case may be. But again, it is a big assumption to think that is what every buyer wants. I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you categorically, this is not accurate. Before I started as a developer, I was a real estate agent. It was true then, and it is true now after 10 plus years and hundreds of projects. You can see it for yourself. If you drive around the streets, you jump on property portals like realestate.com or Domain. Like I touched on earlier, when everyone builds the same double-storey townhouses, you end up with an oversupply. An oversupply can kill your profits. Whether you plan to rent it out or sell your townhouses, the advantages compound over time. Shorter builds usually mean you finish sooner, which can reduce interest and other holding costs if you are funding the project with a loan. Less time on site also lowers the risk of cost escalations and delays. That imbalance helps you in every market. They tend to lease faster and sit vacant less, which keeps your cash flow steady. On resales, the buyer pool is often less price sensitive because there are not as many comparable single-story options in established suburbs. Maintenance is simpler too. No stairs, less structure, and fewer complex junctions, which usually means fewer defects from the build, lower ongoing costs, which matters if you are holding. The lack of foresight from other developers is your opportunity. And it's why I call single-story dual occupancy projects the smartest move right now and moving forward. So, if you are holding land and you are sitting on an older block, or if you're an investor wanting to activate your portfolio without overextending, this is a strategy you should absolutely consider. And if you want to see how other like-minded developers are putting strategies like this into play, you'll find that and tons more inside the Little Fish Network, our free property developer community with thousands already inside. I dropped a link in the description below. And if you're at the stage where you'd rather get expert help, you can book a call with me directly and we'll talk through your site, your goals, and what's possible. There's a link below for that as well. And if you got value from this video, do me a favor, give it a hype, smash that like and subscribe button. Really helps us reach more people and keep sharing this content for free. I'm Peter Kelly. Until next time, happy developing.